My name is Celine Tam. I'm 9 years old, and I love singing. This is my dream, being in America's Got Talent. Thank you very much, thank you. At just 3 years old, Celine Tam's voice was a beacon of hope for her family, but that hope came with a price. Her journey from being a tiny singing sensation on America's Got Talent to battling the pressures of a crumbling childhood was anything but a fairy tale. Pushed to her limits, her once innocent passion for singing turned into an exhausting struggle for relevance. Let us pull back the curtain and reveal the shocking truth. The bright lights are fading, but is her dream slipping away with them? The AGT darkest secret: by the time she was 3 years old, she sang her first rendition of My Heart Will Go On in the family car. Her dad saw it as a sign that she was destined for the big stage. You've got to admire that level of optimism. Dr. Tam essentially turned her entire childhood into a singing boot camp. Not that she seemed to mind, she loved it. Before long, she was competing in singing competitions like most kids play on the playground. She was winning hearts, applause, and a collection of shiny little trophies. It was adorable, but with each win, the stakes just kept getting higher, until one day something felt off about her latest win. It would change everything, but more on that later. At that age, let's be real, perfection is a tall order. The glamour of America's Got Talent didn't last forever. She made it to the semifinals and sang her heart out again, this time with a song switch that was a bold move. But it wasn't enough. She didn't make it to the finals, and just like that, it was over. The same crowd that had cheered for her moved on to the next big act, and she was left to deal with the aftermath. The judges had mixed opinions on her semifinals performance. Simon Cowell gave her a nod, saying she had grown, which, coming from him, is high praise. Mel B, on the other hand, felt it was too theatrical. And that's the catch: for a 9-year-old who just wants to sing, even one bad review can feel like the end of the world. Her journey on America's Got Talent didn't have the fairy tale ending everyone hoped for, and even if she took it well in public, it must have been a hard pill to swallow. But it wasn't just about America's Got Talent. After the show, she faced the strange, twisted side of fame: the pressure, the comparisons, the critics. The bright lights faded, and what was left was a kid who still loved to sing but now had to carry the weight of being the girl who almost won AGT. She still performed and had a few collaborations. She sang with another young talented singer, Jeffrey Lee, and the video went viral, racking up millions of views. But fame's spotlight can be fickle, and it isn't always kind to kids who just want to have fun. Her dad was always there, guiding her career, maybe a little too enthusiastically. He was a dad manager, one who clearly loved his daughter but was determined to turn her into a superstar. That's the thing about child prodigies: sometimes what's meant to be a dream come true for the child starts to feel more like an exhausting ride that they can't quite step off. She went on to do more shows in Hong Kong and even joined China's Singer 2018. She improved her skills, no doubt, but the pure joy of singing in the car at 3 years old, maybe it was starting to fade. It's not all tragic, though. She still has her incredible voice, and she's still young. She's got time, and perhaps with less pressure, she'll rediscover the joy of singing that first made her dad take notice all those years ago. But her story is undeniably a cautionary tale, one that makes you think twice about the cost of turning a child into a star. The fame, the golden buzzers, the viral moments, they're all great, but at the end of the day, she is just a young girl who grew up with a lot of expectations on her shoulders, more than anyone should have to bear. She's still performing, still sharing her life on social media, still connecting with her fans. But maybe the real story is just beginning now that the spotlights aren't as blinding, and she's no longer just the AGT star but simply herself, a girl with an extraordinary voice, figuring out what she wants to do with it without the world constantly watching. In 2018, she took part in the Chinese singing competition Singer 2018, competing against well-known artists. She showcased her vocal range and emotional expression, proving that she could hold her own on stage. She received praise for her performances, but it was clear that the joy of singing was now mixed with the burden of maintaining her reputation. These successes boosted her confidence and affirmed her commitment to her musical career, but they also reinforced the expectations that weighed heavily on her. One of the highlights of her post-AGT career was her collaboration with Jeffrey Lee. Their duet of You Raise Me Up went viral, garnering millions of views and widespread praise. The chemistry between them and the way their voices blended left a lasting impression on listeners. It was a beautiful moment that reminded everyone of the power of music to bring people together. But even these moments were fleeting, and the attention soon shifted elsewhere. Celine was ready to remind the world of her talent once again, a shining return, but not enough. Celine's return to the spotlight in the World's Got Talent special in 2019 was another opportunity to showcase her talent to a global audience. The special brought together talented performers from different parts of the franchise, and she was ready to captivate her audience once more. Her performance was outstanding, earning her many compliments and another golden buzzer, which advanced her to the top 8. However, she did not secure the overall win. The recognition was significant, but it also highlighted the reality of her journey. Challenges of maintaining momentum in a fast-moving world, social media became an important tool for staying connected with fans. She used her official Facebook page to share updates, performances, and glimpses into her life, keeping her supporters engaged and demonstrating her passion for music. However, even with a strong online presence, navigating the music industry as a child star was tough. The pressure to keep up appearances and meet expectations was always there, lurking in the background. Her family, particularly her dad, played a major role in her career. Dr. Steve Tam was dedicated to helping his daughter achieve her dreams, but his involvement sometimes seemed overly intense. He was her biggest supporter but also her toughest coach. Balancing the roles of a loving father and a determined manager was a challenge, and it wasn't always clear if she was enjoying the journey or simply going along with it out of obligation. Despite the challenges, she continued to grow as an artist. She performed at various events and competitions, each time proving that her talent was undeniable. Her voice matured, and her ability to convey emotions through singing became even more powerful. She had moments of triumph, receiving standing ovations and praise from industry professionals. But the question remained, was she truly happy, or merely living up to the expectations placed on her from such a young age? The reality of being a young star in the music industry is that it's not all about talent. It's about resilience, handling the ups and downs, and staying true to oneself while navigating the pressures of fame. Her story is a reminder of how difficult that can be, especially for someone who started so young. The journey from being a child prodigy to finding her own identity as an artist is still unfolding. That tiny girl belting out Celine Dion songs like her life depended on it, with all the charm and nerves of an 11-year-old, got tangled up in the world of grown-up dreams. But behind the smile was a story about what happens when a kid becomes a star way too soon. Born in Hong Kong, she hit the stage like a firecracker. Everyone was talking about this prodigy who seemed destined to be the next big thing. Audiences were hooked, judges dazzled, and her parents, oh boy, they couldn't stop smiling either. Fame at that age sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, buckle up because that dream has its rough edges. Her parents were the real managers behind her brand, never missing a chance to push their talented kid into the spotlight. The pressure, the intensity, the expectations, it wasn't just about singing, it was about being the perfect child star. From early on, her parents were laser-focused on her career, seizing every opportunity to showcase her talents, whether in local competitions or on TV shows. The goal was simple: make her the biggest star out there. And for a while, it worked. She became a sensation on America's Got Talent, charming audiences with her voice and innocence. But even back then, there were signs that things weren't as easy as they seemed. Expectations were immense, demands endless. Instead of playdates and sleepovers, her life was filled with rehearsals, vocal training, and camera-ready smiles. It took a toll, and she was no exception. Child stars are often treated as investments. Her talent was her ticket to success, and her parents were determined to cash in on it. The lights, cheers, and judges' praise were intoxicating, but it was a lot for a kid to handle. And when the AGT stage lights went dark, reality set in. Fame is fleeting, and the world quickly looks for the next big thing. The transition from child prodigy to mature artist is tough, especially when the industry moves on to the next talented kid. She had to find her place all over again, trying to stay relevant in a world that forgets quickly. She recently performed Sweet Caroline at the Hong Kong Rugby Sevens grand finale. Sure, her voice was still impressive, but it's not exactly the Grammy stage, is it? It's a far cry from the hype of America's Got Talent, where dreams were bigger, and the stage was grander. It's not just the performances that have changed, it's the entire atmosphere around her career. The glamorous sheen has faded, replaced by the gritty reality of trying to make it in the music business as an adult. The opportunities aren't as plentiful, and the stakes are higher. She's no longer the adorable kid with a big voice, she's a young adult competing against countless others who are just as talented and determined. The novelty that once set her apart is gone, and now it's about staying afloat in a sea of talent. And then there's YouTube, the last refuge for fading stars and hopefuls alike. She's there, posting covers, doing what she does best, singing. Because what else is left? She took on Into the Unknown, hoping to stay relevant, hoping for that next viral hit that might reignite her career. But YouTube fame is fickle. One day your video gets millions of views, and the next, you're buried under cat videos and mukbang channels. It's a hard game, and she's playing it like the rest of them, hoping her talent will be enough to keep people listening. She stepped into the digital world, where staying noticed meant facing new challenges. The battle to stay relevant in the digital world is a different kind of beast. It's not like the AGT stage where the audience is right there, cheering you on. Online, it's about algorithms, likes, shares, and the ever-elusive viral moment. She's trying to navigate this landscape, but it's clear that the magic of those early days is hard to replicate. She's talented, no doubt about it, but talent alone doesn't guarantee success in the age of influencers and internet trends. The competition is fierce, and the attention span of the audience is shorter than ever. You've got to give her credit, though. She's still pushing, still showing up, still trying to make her mark. But it's tough out there when you start so high and the only way seems down. And honestly, the retrospectives tell it all. The ones that pop up every now and then on YouTube, documenting her rise and, well, the rocky reality after. They're nostalgic, sure, but they also reek of that sad truth: child prodigies rarely stay at the top. She's gone from being the next big thing to just another name trying to make it. The music industry is a tough place, and talent isn't always enough to make it last. The retrospectives are bittersweet. They show the bright-eyed little girl who stole hearts, but they also reveal the harsh truth of what happens when the spotlight moves on. People love a good success story, but they also love to watch the downfall. And for her, it's been a bit of both. She had her moment in the sun, and now she's trying to figure out how to keep going when the world isn't watching as closely. The documentaries and Where Are They Now pieces are a reminder of how quickly fame can come and go, especially for those who find it at such a young age. Her journey is far from over, but it's clear that the path ahead isn't going to be easy. The music industry is ruthless, and the pressure to constantly evolve and stay relevant is immense. For someone who found fame so young, the challenges are even greater. She has to prove that she's more than just the kid who sang on AGT, that she has something new to offer. And that's not easy when people are always comparing you to who you were at 11 years old. She's still out there, performing at events, posting videos, doing what she can to keep her career alive. But it's not the fairy tale it once seemed to be. The reality is that fame is a business, and without the right team, the right connections, and a bit of luck, it can slip away just as quickly as it arrived. She's got the talent, but the world has changed, and the way people consume music has changed with it. It's no longer enough to just be a good singer. You have to be a brand, a personality, someone people want to follow beyond just the music. She's still in the game, still trying, but it's hard not to wonder if the cost of that early fame was worth it. The pressure, the expectations, the sacrifices, it's a lot for anyone, let alone a child. As she continues to grow, her dedication to her craft and her ability to engage audiences through live performances and digital platforms underscore her lasting impact in the music world. But whether she can reinvent herself and find a new place in the ever-changing landscape of the music industry remains to be seen. She's got the voice, she's got the determination, but in a world that moves at lightning speed, sometimes even that's not enough. Her story is still being written, and only time will tell if she can turn her childhood stardom into something lasting, or if she'll be just another name in the long list of child stars who shone bright for a moment before fading away. For now, she's still holding on to that dream, still believing that her voice can carry her to new heights. She's not giving up, and that in itself is admirable. The road ahead is uncertain, filled with obstacles and challenges that most people can't even imagine. But if there's one thing that's clear, it's that she isn't ready to fade away just yet. She's still fighting, still singing, still hoping that somewhere out there, there's an audience waiting to hear her. And maybe, just maybe, that will be enough to keep the dream alive a little longer.